Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everybody, welcome. Good evening. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Then we got action items out of closed session. We don't have anything tonight, do we?
No, not closed session.
No. Okay. 4.1, communications. Is there anything on the agenda anybody would like to discuss with the board at this time? And if so, we'd ask if you could just come up to the podium, give your name, and if you could just limit it to 5 minutes.
Just want to pass these over. Just pass them down. My name is Kelly Pinsky. What's coming around to you right now is the letter of resignation that I wrote. This resignation was not my own choice. I would happily continue to work at Glenwood High School because the students and staff are amazing, but I felt that I didn't have a choice but to write this letter. I was notified that due to my evaluation, my contract would not be renewed. However, while my evaluation was taking place, I was given no indication that the administration was concerned. My students were learning, they were showing excellent growth, and I was not told I was doing anything wrong, just given areas to continue to work on moving forward. My teacher mentor was not told I was doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. My department coordinator was not told anything either. I'm not under the impression that I'm a perfect teacher, and I know that I have places that I can improve. This is only my second year teaching. As my evaluations were only 10 school days apart, I do not know how I was expected to grow a significant amount in such a short time. And since my evaluation was completed, I have not had an administrator in my classroom. It has been 3 months since an administrator has been in my room to see if I have improved. For 3 months, I have been self-motivated to work on skills that I wanted to improve upon. During those 3 months, my students have been learning. 3 months where administration, who were apparently concerned about me as a teacher, had no idea what was happening in my classroom at all. I think any school district would be hard-pressed to find a second-year teacher that is going to do everything right. If they wanted someone that had more experience, they should have hired someone that was not me in the first place. I am not sure how administration expected me to improve if they were not going to help me grow as an educator, even though I was fully ready to learn and try new things and improve myself. If they were concerned, why weren't they checking in on me? And if they were concerned, why didn't I get a remediation plan? I feel that either they were not actually very concerned, or they did not want to put in the work to fix whatever I was doing wrong. I was never given the chance to show them improvement. I was never told what I was doing wrong. And based on just sitting in on 2 full classes, an hour and a half, they decided either I was not redeemable or that they did not want to spend time working on me with my weak areas. And no one ever told me. So moving on to the letter that you have in front of you, to the second paragraph. I used to work at Glenwood High School covering 2 maternity leaves in 2016, and I was so impressed. I loved working there. It was great. Everyone was happy, and I couldn't wait to come back. But this year, everything felt different from very early on. The teachers were not happy to be there every day. There was no communication between administration and teachers, and the teachers do not feel that they are supported. They do not feel that they can trust the administration. They do not feel that they have a leader. They are mad and unsatisfied with the way the building is operated, and people are scared that they will be retaliated against if they talk about what they feel. There's no communication. We are lied to, we are blindsided, and find out important information from students, local newspapers, and not the administration. Decisions that affect both students and teachers are made without any teacher input. We all want to do what is best for our students, but we are cut off at the knees when we are not supported and do not have all of the information. We are not sure when our discipline will be thrown out by administration. We don't know that in parent meetings, the administrator will be on our side or parents. And this is not something teachers should have to worry about. Teaching is difficult enough. when the entire staff is a team, and it is exponentially harder when the administration is at odds with the teachers. The teachers that work at this district are incredible. I love them all very much. And they work so hard every day. They're dedicated, and they're incredible. This district is amazing because of the teachers that work here. And what they have been put through this year at the high school is shameful. Even though, through all of it, they have continued to do everything right and do well. I will miss being a part of this staff. They are great, and they are the best that there is, but I will not fully miss everything that's been going on in the building this year.
Kelly, thank you. Anybody else?
Can we ask like clarifying questions? I know we can't. That's up to you.
Have you got a question?
So understand that we can't answer you out here because we have to speak as a board. But I was wondering, like, do you have examples of, like, when you say no communication, what communication did you get last year that you didn't this year? And if you're not comfortable answering now, could you maybe, I don't know how we do it, but, and then like getting info from students rather than administration, I'd be interested in examples. And same thing with discipline thrown out. If you had some examples, and you're welcome to tell us now or.
I mean, I personally have had discipline thrown out for a student, for a student being on their cell phone during an exam this year, and I was told that they wouldn't uphold my decision because I didn't specifically tell them before the test that they couldn't be on their phones, though not being on your phone is a school policy in the handbook, and I did tell them the way. I didn't tell them the exact consequences, and so the administration would not support the exact consequences that I gave. And there have been other teachers too that I cannot speak for that have told me similar stories this year. As for the communication, I know that there is compilations of that can be given to you, if requested, yeah.
The problem we have is we have to vote on this before we're going to get that, I think. But,
I just have one question to ask you, and that is, you are an experienced teacher, so, you know, you're learning as the more hours that you get, you know, under your belt. My question to you as a young teacher who happens to be female, did you ever feel what do I want to say, vulnerable in your classroom because of student behavior or student interruptions or whatever? Now, before you answer, think very carefully. I'm asking you if you have ever felt vulnerable.
Specifically with the students?
In your classroom.
I guess in the way that I don't always know that what I say is actually going to be followed through with, and it feels like there's a very big potential to lose control of the situation if students know that things aren't going to be taken seriously. Like if I say something and then it does not end up coming to fruition, then there's a standard set that my discipline doesn't hold.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else got anything on the agenda they'd like to bring before the board?
Yes.
Please.
My name is Jen Grimaldi. I want to know if you received my emails yesterday and today.
Yes.
I did.
Yes. Did you read them? Did you read all of the documents?
I did.
Thank you.
I saw your email today afternoon, so I don't have any time to read them because it's a lot of attachments, so I don't have any time to read them.
Okay. Well, I will read you one of the attachments. This attachment is areas of desired improvement or general comments. This is the very end of my evaluation, on my second evaluation. Mrs. Grimaldi has worked to establish meaningful relationships with her students. Her students arrive to class on time and demonstrate through their behavior their understanding and expectations for class. Students enter, get settled, and wait for directions from Mrs. Grimaldi before beginning the activity. Mrs. Grimaldi opened her class by asking students to reflect upon masks, their origin and symbolisms. Students were shown how to prep a mask for papier-mâché designing. Her directions were clear and concise. After the explanation, she asked students to think about which animal they would like to represent, and she supplied students with activities to reflect and document their thoughts. Once completed, the students were able to continue with an existing project or start the mask project. There are numerous examples of student work ranging from drawing to sculpting. It was recommended to Mrs. Grimaldi she have exemplar examples for students to look at, view, while they are working on the project, and to have the scoring rubric posted, available for students to use to gauge their progress and to continue to monitor their progress. Students appeared to be relaxed as they worked. They moved about the room to get supplies or clean up their area as they transitioned from the project to the next. Mrs. Grimaldi has developed a consistent structure in her class as evidenced by student behavior and participation. She checked in with each student several times during the class as she walked about the room. Her feedback to students was specific in nature and allowed students to do their own reflection and improve their work based upon the feedback. Mrs. Grimaldi has built an environment of respect and rapport as evidenced by the interactions among students and between students and the teacher. Students are willing to take risks as their projects evolve and will ask for assistance from the students or the teacher. Mrs. Grimaldi is in her first year as the teacher in the Ball-Chatham School District. She will continue to grow as a leader in her department and in the school. Mrs. Grimaldi encourages all of her students and is working to increase the number of students who are participating in the art programs. Does that sound like somebody you would want to get rid of?
I'd like to ask just one question
Yes.
to you. The board we have to read a resolution, and it's on board docs, and so you probably already reviewed it. Now, and the word in the resolution that we wrote upon says performance. What is your definition of performance as a teacher?
As a teacher?
Yes. What is your definition?
My-
What sub-components compose that word performance for you, if more than one?
My performance with my students is giving examples, which I did, and having a lesson written for them to look at, and having an actual demonstration, which I did, and having my availability to walk around the room and work one-on-one with each student on a daily basis, which is what I do.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you. Anybody else have anything on the agenda that they want to bring before the board tonight? Yes.
You might have saw me here last week. My name is Jim Grimaldi. As you may. It's funny because I'm the strong one in the family. I stand up for my family's rights. I stand up for my family's ideals. And to see I feel powerless to help my wife in this situation. I'm an attorney. I meet with a lot of people. I help a lot of people. Prior to that career, I was in the military for 9 years. I know a little bit about instruction and how to teach people and how to instruct people, and most of all, how to lead people. It's something that I've done all my life. Every year, I get up. See, we were from Lincoln. We lived in Lincoln for the last 9 years. And being a somewhat prominent figure in the community, I've been called upon to give speeches to all the students within the entire county, not just the high school. And I teach them, I at least try to relay to them concepts such as honor and integrity and perseverance and fighting back when you feel that you've been wronged. I went today and I looked at the Ball-Chatham district webpage, which has a clearly defined mission. The Ball-Chatham School District, together with the community, develops the unique potential of each student by providing quality, challenging, and engaging opportunities that establish a foundation for lifelong success and positive contributions to society. I've known her for 20 years. We've been married for 16 years. 16?
15 and a half.
It'll be 16 years this year. We have 4 children. I try to teach my children the same type of ideals as is established by the mission. I look at the beliefs of the Ball-Chatham School District. I look at the character education Titan traits that is on your website. You talk about things such as respect, responsibility, self-discipline, honesty, but the last 2 caught my eye. Number 1, perseverance. Perseverance. What do you define it as? Pursuing worthy objectives with the determination and the patience while exhibiting fortitude when confronted with a challenge. Number 1. Number 2, courage. This is the most important thing that I see here tonight. Courage. Doing the right thing in the face of difficulty and following your conscience instead of the crowd. How hard is it for a teacher to stand up and say, I've been wronged? How hard is it for a teacher to get up and say, I don't care about the consequences. I want you to know what's going on. We've heard from a teacher here tonight who was, and I don't know your personal situation, but it's obvious, and I've seen this happening in the past month with my wife, that has been given a choice: resign, or you're going to have a career killer, a non-renewal. Questions are going to be asked from every future employer. My wife has had multiple communications from administration as early as late as 2 days after the last board meeting. You need to tender your resignation. How many teachers have you accepted resignations from? How many teachers do you wonder, why is this person resigning? You have to ask yourself that question, because it's not normal. It's not normal. You should not be put in a position where if you exercise your rights, for example, by filing a grievance against the district, that you're going to be cut off at the knees. The only difference between her and anybody else is she's not tenured. She's not tenured. Now, she has 14 years of experience, but that's just a quick and easy way. We don't have to give you a reason why. We're going to cut you off at the knees, throw you out the door, and show you, and basically show you, be on your way. I think the mission of the school district should be to, there's twofold. One, fiscal responsibility. Number 1, I just wanted to remind you that you're getting my wife's 14 years of experience in master's education at a discount. And we knew that going in, meaning she's being paid as a 9-year teacher. She has 14 years of experience. That's fine. We accept that. But the main mission of the district is to educate every single student. And how do you do that? By providing a quality teacher. They have direct interaction with each and every student. They are the most important key in your school system. And if you're throwing away the opportunity to have them be instructed by not only young teachers, but established, obviously capable, obviously excellent teachers, what are you saying to your students? These people don't grow on trees. And they are people. They're human beings. They should be treated as such. And I just don't see that happening. I mean, it's fairly clear. And I'm not going to talk about any legal ramifications. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about a human being. And I think that it needs to be addressed as such. Thank you.
Jim, thank you. Anybody else? Anything on the agenda they want to bring before the school board tonight? No. Okay then, moving on. Personnel consent items, we've got 5-1 to 5-12. Anybody wish to pull any of them? Okay, if not, then do I have a motion to approve 5-1 to 5-12 as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Betsy, please.
Yes, Duraraj.
Yes.
Maddox.
Yes.
Siren.
Yes.
Morley.
Yes.
Yurevich.
Yes.
Kopp.
Yes. Moving on to personnel action items, we've got 6-1. Non-renewal of services of a certified staff member is presented below. I believe we have a resolution. It says, whereas the Board of Education has received reports from the superintendent regarding the performance of Jennifer Grimaldi, a full-time first-year teacher in this district, and whereas it is a recommendation of the superintendent that Jennifer Grimaldi should not be reemployed for the next ensuing school term. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education does hereby determine that Jennifer Grimaldi shall not be reemployed for the 2018-2019 school term, and that the employment of Jennifer Grimaldi shall terminate as of the end of the 2017-2018 school year. The Board of Education hereby further authorizing and directing the President and Secretary to give Jennifer Grimaldi written notice of such termination. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Betsy then, please.
Yep. Maddox.
Yes.
Siren.
Yes.
Morley.
Yes.
Yurevich.
Yes.
Kopp. Oh, I'm sorry, Duraraj.
Yes.
Kopp.
Yes. Moving on to 6-2. We've got honorable dismissal of 2017-2018 mentors. We also got a resolution for that. Whereas the following personnel were hired on a one-year only basis as 2017-2018 mentors and lead mentors. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby honorably dismiss the 2017-2018 mentors and lead mentors from employment for the reason of expiration of temporary employment, such dismissal to take effect at the end of the current school term. The Board of Education hereby authorizing and directing the President and Secretary to give those listed below written notice of such termination. I need to read all these? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Thank you. Betsy, please.
Yes, Siren.
Yes.
Morley.
Yes.
Yurevich.
Yes.
Duraraj.
Yes.
Maddox.
Yes.
Kopp.
Yes. Moving on to 6.3, honorable dismissal of pre-K through 6 team leaders and 7 through 12 department coordinators. Got a resolution, whereas the following personnel were hired to cover at-will extracurricular positions. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby honorably dismiss pre-K through 6 academic team leaders and grades 7 through 12 department coordinators listed below from employment for the reason that releasing these positions gives the district an opportunity to evaluate leadership which may be necessary due to staffing changes and transfers. The Board of Education hereby authorizing and directing the President and Secretary to give all team leaders and department coordinators below written notice of such termination in accordance with 105 ILCS 524-12 of the School Code of Illinois. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Betsy, please.
Yes. Worley.
Yes.
Yurevich.
Yes.
Duraraj.
Yes.
Maddox.
Yes.
Sarin.
Yes.
Cop.
Yes. Okay, moving on to communications, 7.1. At this time, if there's anything, doesn't even have to be on the agenda, that anybody wants to bring before the school board, this is an opportunity to do so. Does anybody have anything they'd wish to bring to us? Okay. Going on to 8.1, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance. Yes.